B movies. And in the NFL at quarterback, just avoid negative plays. Keep moving forward. So I thought it was a win for him. Didn't see much of him. What'd you take out of it?
Well, I don't know about your examples that you used for movies there. What was it? Beauty and the Beast and Godfather? That's quite a collection. But no, I agree with you on the football side of it, on the quarterback side. If you listen, I think the best thing a quarterback does is he makes the people around him better. And, you heard like the word of the week was rhythm. You saw him throwing on rhythm. He never had bad pass protection because the ball was out on time. He looked great. I mean, I think it's everything you're looking for. If you're a Bears fan, you're fired up about the head coach, the play caller. This is a division that has quarterback whisperers, and Chicago hasn't had theirs. Now they have it. It looks like a great start. I would just say it's preseason football. Right. So I'm not going to criticize him because it's the preseason. This is a great start. It was a great outing. There's been some up and down reporting about him. In this game against the Bills, he looked fantastic.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, that was pretty lukewarm for Matt Hasselbeck. Because I think he understands that it is just preseason and you are just watching this one very heavily rehearsed set of plays that everyone just understands, and so you better be in rhythm and on time, and that is why the word of the day was in rhythm, and that makes 100% sense. And I think the fact that, to me, that it's like that's a test that he passed with flying colors because it was executed flawlessly, right? Truly flawlessly. So I think when that happens, you're like, okay, great. There's nothing to really harp on or criticize in any stretch of the imagination. And this is where you want to kind of keep seeing it evolve and keep going and just get better and better and better. The reality is like you're just not really going to get a sense of Caleb and Ben Johnson together until it is the third quarter, right? 8 minutes to go in the fourth. That's when you're going to have a lot better. You're going to be able to draw a lot more accurate conclusions about Caleb Williams and Ben Johnson. If I had to guess, in the beginning of the season, this is just a strict guess based off of who I believe Caleb and Ben Johnson are right now. The first halves are going to be awesome. And these scripted plays are going to be fantastic. And Ben Johnson's going to have a lot of success there. And Caleb Williams is going to have a lot of success. And then the second half is going to be some legitimate growing pains. You're going to see the growing pains and the development of Caleb Williams and what he still needs to grow and evolve with more in the second half than you would in the first half. I think you'll have some moments when you see like probably a pretty stark contrast between the two. And I guess be prepared for that because I could see people criticizing that too heavily. I could see, depending on how loose things potentially get in the second half, specifically with Caleb, that they'll use that as a way to be like, see, Caleb can only do things well when it's on script. Once things start to get a little bit more off script in the second half and it's not as buttoned up, we're seeing him make the same mistakes that he made last year, and stuff like that. I've seen those types of takes before a lot, honestly. And so I'm curious. I'm curious to see what that side of things look like more than anything, because I believe Caleb Williams is good enough and competent enough and coachable enough where, of course, he's going to be able to hit these with Ben Johnson. Because Ben Johnson is going to be able to give him a lot of layups. And Caleb Williams is good enough, clearly, to be able to get the job done. I want to see everything beyond that more than anything. And we're just not going to see that. We're not going to see that until week one. And frankly, depending on what the score is, you might not really be able. We need to see them, a 14-10 game in the fourth quarter, no matter whether they're winning or losing. Like that's in the third quarter, midway through. It's like that's when you're going to get a true sense of where are Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams together? It's not going to be the first half. It's not going to be the first quarter. It's really going to be in that second half, at least from my viewpoint. That's kind of how it lands on me, because again, this opening drive was so smooth. It really was. It was so smooth, so clearly defined for everyone involved. The one play that he had, I forget which pass it was, and I'm not gonna be able to bring it up right now. But just the two routes that were being run, again, it just becomes so simple, so easy, so effortless. And that's why it's like when you watch Caleb be able to play such, we do use this so too much, but it really does describe it, so in rhythm and on time, that it just felt so easy. I mean, it really did. It was just hike and throw, hike and throw. Like it was just easy. It was just, it was in rhythm. That's why we say in rhythm, because it is. It's like music. It's like in rhythm, and it's like when you're playing like that, you're just like, because like everyone just understands where you're at. Like it can be so easy, especially when you're going to have a quarterback as good as Caleb Williams and a play caller and a play designer as Ben Johnson. So it's just like, I never had a doubt that was going to work. Anyone who doubted that Caleb Williams had the ability to do that, you just didn't believe in his baseline skill as a quarterback, which is like, well then, and how the heck was he number one overall? Like it never added up to me. And clearly he's coachable and wants to be able to play within rhythm and in time. So the third and fourth quarter is where I'm going to really be locked in. And the truth is, we've seen him off script. I mean, when he was playing loser, and he had success. The problem is he did it with Chicago when everything was such a mess, and a lot of times the scores were already pretty far out, and it was with a revolving door of coaches at that point. And so it's going to be a little different. It's going to be a lot different with Ben Johnson. And so I'm not even going to try to even remotely predict what that looks like with the Ben Johnson, especially because his skill set is fundamentally different than Jared Goff. And so this is really going to be the first style quarterback that we've seen Ben Johnson have in a Caleb Williams. So I think it's going to be pretty cool. I really do. I'm such a coaching nerd with a lot of this stuff, and when you can actually see the coaching and the player development on the field and see how things evolve and change, I don't know, man, it's poetry in motion to me for sure. That's why I was literally dancing, because it is. You watch it, and like when I was watching that first drive, I'm just like, I'm literally doing this to myself. I'm like, oh my god, do you see this? Do you feel this? Like I feel like everyone had to just. You don't even have to know football. You could just like. You just feel it. You're just like, wow, everything just feels like everything's just how it's supposed to be right now. And you're just like, this feels nice. And so you get more of that with a Ben Johnson. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about Caleb Williams? How high do you think his ceiling is with Ben Johnson? And, I guess, where are you looking for the growth and development? And, how quickly are you going to be able to see it within the season? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment. So whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all generally feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.